Hello racing fans, this is NASCAR Racing Fan 2015, and this paint scheme collab finally features some Toyota Camrys as it took this long to release them. We have a car that is oh so colorful, and it's made of chocolate, you could say. And then we have a couple new schemes from a fairly young driver in the series, and then we have the defending champions 2018 ride, which is finally here, the new refresh of his paint scheme. And we'll get right on into this. First off, we have the Candyman, Kyle Busch, and his 18 M&Ms Toyota Camry. And now this car, I don't know, this already feels like a lame duck car to me because he never runs this scheme. Kyle Busch has only run this car once, and that was the Daytona 500. After that, he's had the USA paint scheme, he's had the fan vote paint scheme, and then he had the caramel paint scheme. It just feels really weird now having this car because he never runs it anymore. And that's been the usual with the M&Ms, as 2014 was really the last season he ran the M&Ms paint scheme, just a regular M&Ms car, more than he ran any other special. Because 2015, you had the crispy car. And 2016, you had the ugly 75 years car. That car was bad, and they didn't change it until the chase. And then 2017, they had the caramel car, and now this year, it's kind of a variety of schemes that are taking over. I believe, yeah, the America scheme is running this weekend. I just find it really weird. I probably should have gotten the caramel car. I should have gotten this last year, and then I should have got the caramel car for Christmas. But instead, I decided to get Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s cars that changed paint schemes. But Kyle Busch, regardless, he's tearing it up. I mean, he won the 600 by complete domination. He's really the only competition to Kevin Harvick this season. And he's won the Interstate car, he's won in the Skittles car, and then obviously the fan vote and the America. Now, he just needs to win in the caramel car. He needs to win in the Snickers car, probably. I don't know when he's going to run that. And then if somehow they run this paint scheme again, he needs to win in that. And then he'll have won in every single paint scheme this year. I mean, that's really the only drastic thing this season in terms of winners. So anyways, if I give this car a rating, I'm giving it a top 5. This looks awfully like his 2011 paint scheme. I mean, it's already been done before, so nothing too special. But hey, at least I don't have to use that 2016 car I've used from day one of the NASCAR Irwin Tools Cup Series. Finally a new Kyle Busch car. There's that. Next up, we have Daniel Suarez and his Aris Toyota Camry. And this car straight up looks like Carl Edwards and his 2015-2016 car. It's the exact same car. I even got mixed up. Is this Carl Edwards? I mean, they look the exact same, except the peak antifreeze logo on the quarter panels of this car. That's like the only difference between Carl Edwards and Daniel Suarez. And then even in the All-Star race when Suarez was up front, I was thinking, oh, is that Carl Edwards? That looks awfully like him right there. And then no, it's Daniel Suarez. It's just really, really hard for me to get used to this. I mean, and plus Daniel Suarez, he runs this paint scheme a lot. With Eric Jones in the DeWalt car, he barely runs that paint scheme. And, with William Byron in the Exalta car, I mean, that car runs 15th to 20th, so I know it isn't Jeff Gordon, and makes a lot of rookie mistakes. So I don't get William Byron and Jeff Gordon mixed up too often, but sometimes a little bit. But there's this car. I mean, it's the exact same thing. I have to stress that. I wish Aris would have switched up something. I mean, they had something going with the 2017, and then they had like the gray or something that was different. And then you have this car, which is basically the exact same thing. But at the same time, I mean, Daniel Suarez, this was technically his car in the Xfinity Series for years. So it's technically also his paint scheme, even though Carl Edwards is the more notable driver. I mean, the orange is nice. You know, I like the red numbers as well. Obviously, the scheme is still fairly cool. And, you know, I would consider buying this, as if I gave this a rating, I would give it a top 10 finish. They need to change it up a little bit. Looks too much like Carl Edwards, but I'd recommend you get it. It's a nice Eris car. I mean, you haven't gotten a Daniel Suarez car, you need to get one. I mean, that's kind of sad. This was a change that happened last year. You got to get updated. And so I got another Daniel Suarez car in addition, as we have a Stanley Tools Toyota Camry. And this car, for the first time, as they had 2015, 2016, and 2017, they had the Stanley car with like the spikes. This one is kind of weird though. I mean, just the way like the black and kind of the gray. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the colors to it. It's just like the random designs on the side. I mean, that looks kind of weird a little bit. It just looks misplaced. It doesn't remind me too much of a tool brand. I don't know, but it is what it is. And you know, this car's only ran like 3-4 times so far this season. And the most notable moment was whenever Daniel Suarez got loose and took out Alex Bowman. That was like the first time he made a rookie mistake, as I said yesterday. And yeah, I mean, Daniel Suarez, just continuing with him, he has the worst luck this season. Absolutely, some of the worst luck. I mean, besides the All-Star race with that gimmicky package, I mean, that's been it. I mean, Daytona, he got wrecked out because Checkers or Wreckers made an overly aggressive move and then overcorrected. And then obviously Las Vegas, pit gun issues. Auto Club, he was speeding. Texas, in this very car, gets taken out. I believe Richmond, he probably had some sort of issue that costed him. Oh yeah, Atlanta, bad pitch strategy, I think put him a lap down. And then we had, what else was it? Dover was third, and then guess what? L1 penalty, that gets taken away. And then obviously we had Kansas where he gets loose, and then the 600, he was like 15th to 20th. So it just seems like Daniel Suarez just can't break out yet. He hasn't had any of his flashes. Like, I mean, Eric Jones, you know, he had a shot to win at Bristol in 2017. Daniel Suarez has had nothing close to that. So if I gave this car a rating, I'm going to give it another top 10 finish. This one is just, it's not as good as some of the other cars, especially last episode. That had some good cars. I don't know if it's the best Stanley scheme. I probably prefer the Carl Edwards one a little bit more. That one just looks better, but, you know, Stanley Tools, sponsoring Daniel Suarez. Next up is stage winner, MTJ. And his Best Pro Shops 5-hour energy. Oh, no, wait. Tracker Boats, Toyota Camry. Yes, that completely sums this up as 5-hour energy. Oh, we can't put our logo on the car. This is geared towards kids. Oh, no, we can't do that. Nuh-uh. I mean, honestly, you know, there's kids out there that, of course, do things like, you know, having energy drinks and, you know, drinking alcohol, smoking, taking weed, all that stuff. Oh, yeah, the Tide Pods challenge. There's some really stupid kids out there. But at the same time, who are you going to blame if your stupid kid decides to take 5-hour energy or alcohol? The company simply putting out their product, and there are recommendations like, oh, you're not supposed to have this if you're underage. Oh, if you have conditions, you're not supposed to have this. It's on the back of the bottle. So are you gonna blame the company for that, or are you gonna blame your stupid kid? I mean, honestly, if your stupid kid does that stuff and hides it behind your back, maybe he or she or whoever this is does deserve the consequences they get. All across. I mean, everyone likes to blame, you know, the product for causing all the issues and stuff. When honestly, there's tons of kids. Kids should be more educated on this stuff. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to drink alcohol or energy drinks. You know, if I even grab one, I kind of hesitate because I know the consequences to it. I mean, that's just how ridiculous it is. And I'm sick and tired of hearing about, oh yeah, it's that we should just totally, you know, get rid of this stuff off the shelves. You know, honestly, we need better education with those. I mean, I had a DARE program, you know, taught by the police officers. And like I said, I know that stuff is bad. And, you know, I don't even touch that stuff. But anyways, this car, after the renting, it's kind of average. I give it a top 20. Such a step down from last year's car. And, you know, that's like the last thing that I'm worried about after this massive rant. You know, on how, why can't we have a 5-hour energy car? Just because there's a bunch of stupid kids, you know, just because it's that. Oh, nope, can't have a 5-hour energy car. I mean, it should be treated just like Darwinism, you know, survival of the fittest, you know, whoever makes the smartest decisions in life, that's just how it is, you know, instead of seeing all these sensitive people, you know, oh yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's the video. Now that I think of it, there weren't very many good cars in this one. I mean, there were a couple all right ones. You know, the Truex one was it was just okay. So if I had to pick my favorite, probably the Kyle Busch car, even though that's a lame duck car. Then it would be the Stanley Tools car. Then it would be the Aris car. And then it would be the Bass Pro car. They gotta change that paint. So they gotta go back. They gotta go back to 2017. That was like the best paint scheme. And I don't know why I didn't get it. I should have gotten the Vegas winner. But hopefully NASCAR Authentics releases it as like the championship version or something like that. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I guess they're gonna get rid of the monster logos. But yeah, I mean, and then this scheme. I mean, it's basically the Furniture Row car, which was generic enough. And then you look at it and, you know, it's just added orange. I mean, basically, like I said, they try to do Dale Jr.'s AMP and National Guard, except it's way worse. I mean, it doesn't look that good at all. So half of the time, I mean, and the sad part is that those aren't even the worst paint schemes for that team. The worst paint scheme is that auto owner's car because they had to put that big Atlanta Braves A on the hood of it. Oh yeah, chop on. And you know, yeah, they gotta ruin that paint scheme. I hate seeing that car on the track now. So the 5-hour energy car, sadly, is the best one. And then it's the Bass Pro, which is pretty low, and then the auto owner. So Truex has some of the ugliest paint schemes on the racetrack, and it's really annoying me. Because, you know, Truex is obviously up front. I mean, yeah. Yeah, so that's the video. So basically, if you learn anything from this video, use your head and think about the consequences for alcohol, weed, and energy drinks. And then maybe in the next 20 years, we'll progress. So then we can have a 5-hour energy car. We can have a monster energy car. But no, we got a bunch of idiots that don't get a proper education that's got to take these substances and kill themselves. Please make the smart decisions and eventually it'll come to us.